Hey guys, I'm here today to do my summer wrap up. These are all the books I read in June, July, and August. There's not that many for all those months, but like I said in my last video, these past few months have been crazy and I've been off BookTube, but I'm back to get on it and hopefully read a lot more this fall and winter time. But I'm going to share with you guys the books I read this summer. So first I have Best Friends Forever by Jennifer Weiner. This book was about these two girls, and growing up they were the best friends, they were neighbors, and it's been a few years, I think it's been like 15 years, they haven't seen each other, and there's going to be a Fit Class reunion, and the one friend, Valerie, meets up with Addie and says that she's done something really wrong and she needs Addie to help her, and Addie's like, we haven't talked to each other in like 15 years, why would I help you? And she's just like, come on, we were best friends. And it kind of does flashbacks about how they were best friends and, you know, now what the bad thing Addie's done or the bad thing Valerie's done and Addie's helping her with. And at first I was really into it. I thought it was a fun friend story and I liked all the flashbacks learning about their lives, but then it just got very, very far-fetched. There's like the police involved and the police story was just very unrealistic and it was just very like instant love, and I don't know. It was an okay story, wasn't my favorite, probably not one I would reread, but I am glad I read it. It was okay. Then I read Archie Volume 2 and 3. These are retellings of the Archie comics and they were just okay. I really liked the third one more because it had a lot of Cheryl Blossom in it, and Cheryl Blossom's one of my favorite characters. She's so sneaky and she's just like, she's like Veronica but even worse of being sneaky and like doing schemes and such. So they were both pretty good. I'm going to continue with the story. I'm going to continue buying the series because I enjoy Archie a lot, but it's not like they're amazing. They're just good if you're really into Archie, I think. I read You Have 7 Messages by Stuart Lewis. See, this book I really, really wanted to like too. It's about a mom who dies and the daughter finds her phone a year later and the mom's phone has 7 messages. So she kind of goes through each message and like meets the person who left the message and is trying to place the story together to see what happened, and you kind of find out like her death isn't just an accident, it's kind of like a murder mystery story, but then it's kind of also not to give anything away, it just kind of ended unresolved and it kind of felt pointless. I mean, it was really fast reading, like it went by really quickly, but I was also really disappointed in it. Then I read Lumberjanes Volume 6. This one was really cute. It involved like silkies, is that what they're called? Like mermaidy things. And a bunch of like shape shifters and such. I don't know, it was entertaining. It was a pretty good one in the series. This one is about like girls who go to a summer camp and weird things happen, kind of like a Girl Scout camp. I'm really happy 2 of the female characters finally get together and they kiss each other in this, so it's really happy that they get to be with each other, and I'm really into it and I can't wait for the next series of this. And I read Kalala Princess number 4. This one she runs into Beauty and the Beast and Aurora, and there's another like side character that's like the sexy version, and Kalala is like the innocent girl, and this kind of love triangle with the main guy, so it's kind of silly but also it's an entertaining read. So it's just like a guilty pleasure. It's not anything really special, but I still have the 5th one and I can't wait to read that. Also with manga, I read volume 1 and 2 of The 7 Princes of the Thousand Year Labyrinth. Whew. And this one's actually super cute. It's about this boy who wakes up and he's in this like prison and he finds his way out, and there's 7 other princesses stuck in this prison and they're trying to escape. It's whoever can escape becomes the prince of like this castle, and these are like all high-end, you know, people in society. I think one's like a police officer, one's like a musician, you know, kind of things. They all have high class things, but one is just like a student, so he's like, why am I here? And it's just cute of them trying to survive the labyrinth, and I'm not sure if another one's out yet, but I want to read it because I really liked these. I think there's kind of a male love romance in here. It's not really happened, but it's kind of hinting at it. And I mean, I hope it happens because it's really cute. But overall, I think they're a really good story. I really enjoyed it and I can't wait to read another one. Then on my Kindle, I read Bone Witch by Rin Chupeco. It's about a girl who can raise like the dead. She's like a necromancer kind of, and her brother dies and she like brings him back to life. And I don't know, there's like these flashback parts of the book and then some little sections where like the future or present day, and I really liked the present day ones, but I didn't really like the story of the flashbacks. I just thought it was really long and just slow, and it wasn't really for me. I wanted to like the characters. Like, I liked the characters, I guess, but I just didn't like the story. So I don't know, it was good, but not good for me. Then I read By Your Side by Casey West. This one is about a girl who miscommunication happens and she goes back to the library over like Easter break, some kind of break. It's like you're off of school for, you know, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so it was her like 4 days in this library, and she gets locked in and can't escape, and like she accidentally gets locked in with this other guy, and I thought that was like the whole story, but that's only the first like section of the book, so then there's this whole other section, so it was just like too long. Even though it wasn't a long story, it was just all I was expecting was it to be her trapped in the library, but it was like not all that. And then I don't know, it was like her a love triangle between the guy in the library and this other guy she was sort of dating, and none of the friends liked her, and it was just not like, she wasn't really a likable character. None of the people were likable. The guy she liked, I don't know why she liked him, because he wasn't nice, and it was just very unrealistic being stuck in a library. Like, was there really no way you could get out? And like, well, the guy was just like, oh, I don't want you to like pull the fire alarm or anything, because then, you know, people will know I ran away from home. Like, you can't live in a library for 4 days. I would have been like, I'm sorry, bro, but like, no, I can't live in this library for 4 days. I'm pulling the fire alarm to get out. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry you ran away and you shouldn't be there, but like, I don't know. They could have escaped a lot faster, and they didn't because of that. And she didn't even like him, so I was like, why are you like sparing his feelings or whatever when you're not even friend? I don't know. I guess I'm just too mean. I would never like let myself be locked in somewhere if I could escape, but like, that's just me. So it was okay. Wasn't the worst Casey West book, but also not the best. Then I read When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore. This one was so good. I also read her book A Weight of Feathers, and I think I liked this one better. It's one where I read it and I immediately wanted to reread it. It was so good. So I know it is on one of my favorite books I've read this year. It's about a girl who, it's a magical realism story, so it's about a girl who like can grow roses from her wrists, and there's these 4 girls in the town who are kind of like future retellers, witches, and they want the roses because they believe the roses will make them fall in love. So they keep trying to like kidnap her and steal her roses. And also her friend Sam, he paints pictures of like the moon and hangs them in the trees, and it's just a very beautiful magical realism story. And I loved the like witch sisters and the like, I don't know, I loved all the characters, and it was just one I want to reread, and it's beautiful. And it is like flowy and wordy, and I'm not really into that, but I was. In the story, it was so beautiful. There was like, I read this so long ago, I can't remember the quotes, but I remember when I read it, there was some quotes in there that I was like, they made me cry because they were so like beautiful and powerful. So it is one I totally want to reread, even though I just read it like 2 months ago. I read A Sense of Infinite by Hilary T. Smith, and this one was, it was okay. It was just, all the chapters were like a page long, so it went by really, really quickly, but there was like, it also had like no point to it. It's about a girl who does everything with like her best friend, and her best friend decides she's like going to go to a different college and becomes friends with other people, and so the main character becomes very distant and sad, and then she becomes pregnant, and it's just kind of dealing with that. And it was okay, but again, just the chapters were so short, and it just, they told us like every little detail, but yet it was like just too much describing and just boring. I don't know. It's not one I would really recommend. Queen of Hearts by Colleen Oakes. This was a Alice in Wonderland retelling, and I love Alice in Wonderland retellings. They are my favorite kind of stories, of like fairy tale retellings, anything. Oh my god. So I like loved this story, even though it's not the best, but because it's Alice in Wonderland, it was amazing to me. It's about a girl who is the princess, and another princess comes to town. Her father cheated on her mother and had another child who is basically like Alice in this story, and the main character is the Red Queen, like younger, and it's her just hating this girl who is, you know, taking her father's love and place and might take the throne over her. And it's just always growing up, no one's really respected her or liked her. She's a little thicker. She's not that beautiful compared to all the other girls. And her brother is mentally unstable. He's kind of like the Mad Hatter in the story. He lives in his room and just creates hats and stuff. And she's always loved him and taken care of him. Just in this world, it's just really creepy, and there's this prison that's like a tower with all these prisoners. It's her trying to figure out like her father's kingdom and how he rules it, and I don't know, it was very good. It ended in a cliffhanger. I really want to read the second one because I'm Alice in Wonderland retelling trash, especially I think The Red Queen. I don't know, I really loved Heartless by Marissa Meyer, so this one reminded me of it. Not as good, but still a good story. Then I read Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi. I actually listened to this on audiobook and it was so fun to listen to. I'm not sure if I would like this book just reading it, but listening to it was so good. I like listened to it while I baked and cooked and cleaned and stuff for a day, and it was super fun. So it's also a Alice in Wonderland retelling, and it's kind of Alice's point of view though, and it's about a girl who has no color in her life. She lives in this world, everything's super colorful and beautiful, and she is in like black and white, and everyone in the town kind of thinks she's a freak and there's something wrong with her. And when kids turn, I think it's 12 or 13, you have to show off what your talent is, and then you go off in the world for a year to like use your talent to bring good things to your community. She doesn't have any talent to show them, but actually she has talent like in her that you learn in the book, and it's just really good. And her father goes missing, so it's her and her friend trying to find the father. It is kind of a romance story, but they're also like 12, so it's kind of weird. It's like, I feel like they're a little too young for it to be a romance story, but it kind of is. And I'm really excited for the next one though. I think it's going to be so good, and it's one I would totally purchase. On my Kindle, I read Love, Lies, and Spies. This one was just okay. I was really excited to read this one, and it wasn't that good. It was this like old-timey mystery novel, but the mystery wasn't that good, I guess. I guess because there was only like 5 characters in the whole book, so you knew like who the mystery was about pretty much the whole story, because it couldn't have been the main girl and it couldn't have been the main guy. And there was only really one other main character in there, so you were like, well, obviously he's the bad guy, and like all the stuff going on is him doing it, but that's just how I took it. And it was just okay. Not one I would really recommend. Didn't hate it, but not one I would read again. Then I read Geekerella by Ashley Poston. This is a Cinderella retelling. I love my fairy tale retellings. This one was okay. Cinderella is like probably my least favorite princess kind of retelling. Her story to me is just so boring because it's just a girl who's like 18 who can't tell her parents to like, I don't know, she can't really stand up for herself. It's just her living at home getting yelled at and doing chores, and then like one day she finds a prince, and it's like, it's just the most basic fairy tale I feel like for me. But this one was pretty good. It had a geek twist to it. It's a girl whose father growing up was like into, it's kind of like Star Wars or Star Trek, and there's conventions for it like Comic-Con, and she enters this contest to become like, you know, to meet the person who's redoing this Star Wars kind of TV or movie, and like this costume contest, you could meet them and all this stuff, and she's like a blogger and she blogs about it, and it was cute in like a geek kind of way, in like my culture of, you know, we're into blogs and Tumblr and all that kind of stuff, so it was like entertaining in that way, but also it was Cinderella, so it's boring. I don't know, it's not, I think I would reread it, but it also wasn't amazing. Finally, in these past few months, I read When We Collided by Emery Lord. This was probably my favorite Emery Lord book. It was about a boy and girl alternating chapters. The boy is just like so nice and sweet and has a bunch of sisters and brothers, and he takes care of a lot of them. He's not the oldest, but he's like in the middle, and his brother's trying to, you know, like do a ton and go to school, and his sister's trying to go to school, and just he has a bunch of younger sisters, and his mom just, his dad passed away, and so his mom has just completely given up on life and just stays in her room, so he really has to be the parent and take care of the children. And he meets this girl who is a little bit mentally unstable, but she doesn't like let him know, and in her chapters she knows and like lets us know, and they just kind of fall in love. But then he sees that she's not very stable, and it's like he's taking care of his mom again with this girl, but it was, I don't know, I really liked it. I thought it was a good story. And one of those contemporaries that aren't just like fluff and love and nothing wrong and had problems. So I always like those kind because it's more real life. So I would recommend it. It's probably my favorite Emery Lord book and I did enjoy it. But yeah guys, those are the books I read this summer. What are some books you've read recently? Let me know below. And thank you guys so much for watching. Bye guys!